Hey guys, thanks for watching and please be sure to subscribe to this channel. So just a few things I noticed right before I started this video. This is take two, which already screams some Gemini Mercury energy. We have the Ten of Swords on the bottom of the deck. Which is again air sign. We're going to be talking a lot about Mercury this week and what it's going to be going through, as well as me just turning off the fan that was blowing on me as well. So I literally stopped the air from moving, and so we can expect a few things happening. As Mercury makes a lot of different positions to a lot of different planets this week. This is going to be for July 27th, Monday, through August 2nd. We are going to be combining some astrology and some tarot for like a full spectrum week ahead. So I'm trying to change up a little bit how I do things traditionally on the channel and think of new ways to kind of give more insights and kind of make this a little more educational or a little more full circle. So first things first, on Monday, we're gonna have kind of the biggest stuff start. So on Monday, it starts with Jupiter sextiling Neptune. So Neptune and Mercury are gonna be the big two to watch this week. So Jupiter sextiling Neptune, that's a very, very spiritual emphasis. You already have Neptune, which is the planet of spiritual energy, psychic energy, belief systems, addictions. And then you have it meeting up with Jupiter, which those two planets really like each other. There's a lot of schools of thought in astrology that usually associates Pisces to Jupiter as a second ruler. So they do get along pretty well. And with that in mind, we could be reconnecting to old religions and belief systems that we have, since Jupiter and Neptune are both still in retrograde. So we're turning back the clock with both of those energies, and we're looking to our past. We're looking at things that have already been established as opposed to bringing about new things, which Jupiter loves to do. So Jupiter does not like to be slowed down by retrogrades, but this is a good position. It's a sextile. Not as strong as a trine, but sextiles are still very beneficial. They're like friendly energies that kind of like to work together. They do have different points of view, but they can kind of sit in the car and take a journey together for a bit. So good things there. Maybe we're becoming thankful for the hardships that we've all been through, and moving away hopefully from some old addictions. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about addictions because Neptune will be making another aspect this week. So another thing happening Monday, Venus squaring Neptune. So this is the other addiction part. So this is a much more uncomfortable position. We don't like squares. When you think of a square, you think of somebody that is like closed-minded, that they're not open or receptive to new ways of thinking. They're very stern in their kind of beliefs. And Venus squaring Neptune, we're really thinking about, whenever we look at Venus, those are the people in our lives. Those are the relationships we have, whether they are a romantic relationship, even a friendship, a sibling. It's a very big, broad energy to kind of indicate the people around you or in your life. That's what we really see when we look at Venus, because Venus is a personal planet. And so whereas we think a lot of the time as Uranus as being linked to Aquarius and friendship, but Uranus is a very distant energy. So when we like to look at things close to us or around us, we look at Venus, we look at Mercury, we look at Mars, because those are the closest personal planets to the sun, which is who we are. So Venus squaring Neptune, this is really gonna bring the more frustrating aspects out in our relationships. People, causing hurt to one another. Maybe it's over different belief systems, or maybe it's secrets that are coming out of the woodworks and they are damaging your relationships right now, your love life. Or even your bank accounts. Maybe you're realizing that you didn't have quite as much money as you thought you did, or you weren't prepared for something unexpected to happen. Leo's season has this beautiful way of throwing the truth in our face, whether we're ready for it or not. And Neptune really doesn't like to be exposed. Neptune is really, really good at hiding. Neptune is very, very distant, sometimes lost energy when we're looking at Neptune and Pisces in particular. And so that is a very, very uncomfortable position for Neptune to be in, regardless of it. And then you bring Venus, who wants to have a good time, who doesn't like confrontation, who wants to just look really good on social media and just, be buying all the luxury goods. Neither of them are happy this week. So, yes, Jupiter helps a little bit, but Neptune is still moving backwards. Venus is, luckily moving the right direction. Retrogrades don't mean that everything is bad. It just means that the energy is working differently than it normally does. So it is, it's like putting the car in reverse and trying to fit into a very specific amount of space, like a parking spot. And sometimes that takes a lot of correcting to do. It's not something that a lot of people can do on the first try. And that's what retrogrades are. They're making us move in a different way to understand a perspective that's there all the time, but we just don't really rely on it. We don't really utilize it that often. So think of it that way. It is something that can make people anxious, yeah. And so once we're looking at that, our relationships are kind of threatened when we look at that aspect. Secrets coming out in the relationship. So please, 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 if there is one school of thought in Leo season, I can tell you guys this wholeheartedly because I am a Leo. The truth shall set you free. So no matter how hard it is, if you feel that itch and that you just have to say something, at least at the minimum, you say the truth, and that allows you to move forward instead of holding you back. And that's what we really want to see right now with so many planets doing this retrograde, is we don't want to follow suit and do things that keep pushing us back. We have to make our own forward movement somehow. It's not as easy, and we can't take on as much. So if you are taking on a lot of responsibilities, a lot of duties on helping people, it's really time to reassess, is that making you stronger? Are you toughening up, or are you making yourself more tired? Because fire energy really likes to oversee everything. It kind of wants to be the leader, and we don't have the capacity to boss everyone around in our life and to take control of everything. We can only do so much as humans, and we all have our specialties, and so a lot of that's going to come into focus this season. So let's see, we have Mercury squaring Mars. That looks like that's happening maybe Monday, Tuesday. So Mercury squaring Mars. So we're going to get into what's going on with Mercury this week, because that starts off the week with a lot of tough conversations. So we're already talking about secrets being exposed in our interpersonal relationships with people that we really care about, addiction issues, spending issues, things like that. But Mercury really allows us a clear mind, and when it is healthy, you know, it is that car that gets us where we need to go. It keeps us productive. It keeps us moving. It keeps us saying the right things. You know, when you just have days where you are really just having a hard time feeling understood, a lot of that can be due to Mercury if it's doing something weird in your chart. So if you feel like people just aren't seeing things your way, or they're just really misunderstanding this week, that's totally natural because it's squaring Mars before it opposes Jupiter, and it's going to oppose Pluto after that. It will try Neptune, but I have a feeling that these other three tough aspects are just going to kind of negate that. And Neptune is already such a distant energy. We're not going to feel it, you know, like it's really helping us so much this week. So squaring Mars, we all want to be assertive right now. Mars is in Aries. It's in the sign it loves to be in. It's not in its exaltation, but it is in the sign that it's meant to be in, you know. So when a planet is in its home sign, it's the most powerful, is kind of how we see it. And so Mars rules over the action that we're taking, our impulsivity. And so our impulses are actually going to trip us up a little bit in our communication this week. You know, maybe we're gonna have a tendency to like say something that we immediately regret, or that rubs someone the wrong way. It can come off very strong when we look at Mars energy. And when it's opposing Jupiter, you know, again, it feels like we're having conversations that are, they're not about our opportunities. It's almost like you're gonna be given news or some kind of, like information that the things that you're trying to do and change in your life didn't work out this week. And so we may find some bad news this week when it comes to things that we're kind of excited about, you know, or any kind of information we've put out there. So be careful, especially on like social media and stuff. That's very Mercury. Really be careful about your interactions this week, and you know, trying to just do it all because there's gonna be a lot of friction happening with that. So it does try Neptune Thursday after it opposes Jupiter, but again, like I said, it's just not gonna be, I feel like, enough. Neptune takes so long to catch up that I feel like it's almost like a delayed reaction to begin with. And then Mercury opposes Pluto, and we all know the big work that Pluto is doing right now. So that's going to be really one to watch, is your personal transformation, maybe your sex life, because Venus is playing a little bit of a role this week with our relationships. You know, we're in this mindset that you know, maybe we aren't taking the healthiest steps, you know, in a sexual way or in our transformative way. And so it can kind of feel like we're backtracking a little bit this week. Like we just don't really know where our destination is at the moment. That's okay. There's so much that is like transforming us in every way, not just Pluto, but like everything that's been set off so far this year has been super, super concentrated, like I've never seen. And so I feel like everything I've started to notice is like on a lot bigger of a scale than it usually is. It's almost like everything now has like this beacon, like this shining light, or like a neon sign just kind of blinking, like this is happening, and you just a lot of it's a lot more observant, you know. And maybe that's because we don't really have the usual distractions that we have moving throughout our daily lives, because that has changed so much. And yeah, Mercury doesn't like that. Mercury likes to keep moving forward with the day. And it does like familiar things. It's not Jupiter that just wants to meet and do everything different out there. Mercury likes to kind of have its rule of its neighborhood, its land, and so it likes to interact with people it's familiar with, but it does love variety in that sense that it's open to new possibilities in an already established setting. So it is, you know, that duplicitous side where it does love new things, but it likes the comfort of knowing where they're happening or have some familiarity attached to it. So yeah, so Mercury's really the tough one. So if that's a heavy sign for you, be ready this week. I mean, what can you do? You know, try to write it out when we're working with Mercury energy. If you feel like people aren't understanding you, or if you feel like you can't say the right thing, my mom always told me, you know, it's better not to say anything than if you can't think of something nice to say. I think I butchered that line a little bit. And my head's hurting too, so that's Mercury energy as well. A lot's going on. I'm a very Mercury heavy person in my chart. I have a Gemini rising, a Mercury and Leo right by my sun. So suffice to say, this is a big season for me, so I'm in it with you guys. So let's get into it. So I'm gonna kind of go through some of the signs real quick, I guess all 12, and just give us a snapshot of what's going on. Let's talk about this card real quick. So 10 of Swords, you know, that's the air suit that we were talking about. I really feel like this is an embodiment of the Mercury energy. It's just gonna be like, we're gonna feel so exhausted mentally by the end of this week going into August 2nd. So the beginning of August, we start off with a very unclear headspace, and we're bringing a lot to an end. So 10 of Swords, you know, it doesn't mean that we're giving up. It means that things have been prolonged for as long as they could, and it's time to close a chapter. And so that's what this week can really feel like for a lot of us. So let's see, Aries, what have you got this week? Oh, dog, okay. Bam, it was almost right side up. I was like so excited to do like a bam, but it's this way. So okay, so Emperor energy, we love that. We love that. This is Mars and Aries. This is where you guys should be. A little backwards this week. Some of the aspects that we're making, Venus isn't happy, Mercury's not happy. So a little sidestep movement. So really be careful how bossy you guys come across this week, how power hungry. I'm not gonna say it, but I already know an Aries in my life that's already experiencing some of this. And you could even feel kind of out of control to some degree. Not like you're not tower energy, like you just wanna destroy something just to feel a little better. Just wanna like cry in a big store, like a movie theater, like a baby, just for the heck of it. But the Emperor, you know, feels like there's a lot of pressure being put onto you, and you're not necessarily ready for doing everything. You don't really feel like you are fully charged, you know, like you haven't, you didn't plug your phone in last night kind of a thing. Like you didn't plug yourself in and get enough rest, get enough food. So if you feel like, yeah, you're just not quite at your normal Aries self level, that's okay. You know, it's not the easiest week. Taurus. Whoa, Taurus. Okay. We'll take these two. So Knight of Swords in reverse and the Star in reverse. So I'm expecting maybe a little more reversals, obviously with as many retrogrades as we continue to have. We'll see more reversals. That's kind of the equivalent of retrogrades in tarot. So Knight of Swords, again, very frustrating. Like Aries, you're becoming irritable, and you know, you may if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. How many I gotta say that again. So really keep that in mind this week, Taurus. The words could really get the best of you. It's threatening a lot of us with that Mercury stuff, the star, and this is on really, really big stuff that you're trying to set up for your future. So don't say something out of impulse that's going to hold your future back, you know, that's going to prevent you from really visualizing it. It's okay to not have a full view of what that looks like right now, but don't make it any worse, you know. So be careful. You guys can be quiet and patient, so revert back to that, I feel like, this week. Gemini, let's see it. You are Mercury. Whew. One card. Oh yeah, there we go. Yep. So, we don't like this energy. We don't like this Mercury in Cancer. Very, you know, moody communication energy. You know, Cancer and water signs slow us down. They are working, they're doing deep work, intuitive work with us. And so they do require this for us to sit down, to put on a blindfold and to see through our feelings, through our intuitions, is to turn off the world around us. Mercury does not like to turn off the world around us. We love the stimulation. We love the excitement. We love the interactions. And so this week is a big crossroads for you guys. Not the biggest decision in the world, but you'll feel like you really can't make any. And that's okay. Wait till a little farther. Leo season is the great season of the truth. And so once it hits, you can't ignore it. It's like that neon sign that's telling you exactly what you need to see. So just wait for that. Cancer. Let's see. Okay. Again, some quick-footed energy. You know, Mars and Aries, look at that red hat and the shoes. Somebody that's acting on their impulses, that you feel like you're maybe being taken advantage of, or just somebody's kind of outmaneuvering you. You know, you could even feel this yourself, but you feel like there's some sort of you know, backstage movement happening, you know, like right under your nose. Like you have this hunch that someone's getting away with something, and moms do not like that. They I don't know if they love to get on to kids or, you know, to lay down the laws of the house, but they really don't like people getting away with stuff. So let's see here, Leo. I mean, I feel like it could be even you guys, Cancer, because Mercury is in your sign. God, Leo, I can't do all of this. Oh, okay, I'm gonna reshuffle. There's a lot that fell out, Leo. There we go, one card. Ooh, okay. These are the addiction issues that we're talking about. So you guys are really toughening up. You are like, okay, this is a problem. This is keeping me from my next move. You're like, this is in my way right now. I can see it clearly. You guys are already stepping into the sunlight. This is great to see. Mercury is very soon going to be coming into our sign. And so we are going to have that clear-headedness pretty soon. We're already getting it with the sun. It's where it loves to be. And this is great to see. It means like some really good guidance happening because we are refocusing ourselves. We're taking this time to almost have like an existential car wash or a tune-up. That's what this week can feel like for us. So the excess, the indulgences really come into focus. Virgo. All right, Virgo. Work week. Nothing too crazy. So, there can be a good amount of pressure, Mars and Aries, the sun, the earth signs, I feel like tend to have to pick up a lot of the slack for a lot of the other signs because they'll just do it. Maybe they'll complain about it, but they'll still do it regardless. That's what you guys are known for. So Seven of Pentacles, you're like, okay, I feel like I'm really working hard, but either I'm not getting what I deserve I should be, whether that's your paycheck, you're not getting maybe the role that you want, or there's just some lack of fulfillment this week in your work life. That's okay. It can just feel like things are moving slow when Mercury is going through a lot of heavy aspects. So it's better to just keep doing it. Try not to ask any questions and just stay out of your head. If you just kind of focus more on the tasks, or, just really kind of having some pleasurable time when you're outside of your work headspace. Libra, I mean, you could try at least. But if work is just really continually not making you happy, maybe you need to focus on that. The sun brings focus for all of us, depending on where it hits in our signs. Libra. Okay, good. All right. Well, I'm saying good because most of these are just one card, which is kind of what I'm going for here. So Page of Pentacles. So maybe you are really, really thinking about what's my next move? Is it work? Is it some sort of structure or, something, an investment of some kind that's going to help me get to where I need to go? You guys are really thinking about that. Venus, what is it doing? It's doing its thing with Neptune. So you can feel a bit lost with this energy this week is like, things just, I don't feel like I have access to all of those beautiful things, those experiences, those people that I usually do. And so I'm like, maybe there's some, down the street, or maybe there's some around the corner. Maybe, the grass is greener on the other side. So you guys are kind of thinking like, it's very possible that for once that there are really new people, new experiences, new work, and I can start letting go of some of this stuff because, man, you guys, I think a lot of people don't understand this about Libras, but you guys really, really hold on to stuff. That's that Capricorn in the 4th house. You cling to things which it doesn't seem like that's what you guys do at first because you present such an excited, effervescent, almost lighthearted energy, and you kind of expect it Mercury to just move uninhibited, like a Gemini or something. But no, you guys really do, you hold on to things. And a reason we can see that is Venus is possessions. And so it's material, it's physical. So even though you guys are an air sign, you are more so clinging onto the people around you. They are almost like your possessions. And so that's what you guys are going to be really looking at this week. Let's see, Scorpio. Whoop. Okay. I'm gonna reshuffle. Scorpio. Okay, cool. So, King of Wands in reverse. Where do we look to when we don't know what we need to know? We feel like either oblivious or we're denying the truth that is trying to come forth with Leo season beckoning us. And you aren't the best judge of character this week. So you're not really seeing things from an uninhibited, unfiltered way. Like there's definitely some, God, my mouth is dry, my head hurts, and I can't say the right words. So maybe that's an indication to how this week is gonna feel like for you guys. You know, that you can't really latch onto that thing that you need to this week. Yeah, you know, the truth is out there, but are you guys ready to see it? Are you guys really ready to sink in? I feel like you have your own skewed version of it that you are trying to cling to, that you're maybe even trying to convince other people of. And maybe you're more so worried about the look of it as opposed to the actual feeling of it all. And yeah, so the truth's coming out with Mercury. The words and conversations often bring a lot of that to us. It is the closest planet to the sun, and so it does get a lot of that truth from that sun energy, being so close, they're neighbors. And so, you know, especially water signs, you guys don't do so well with things being out in the open. You like the comfort of mystery and being private, you know. And just like with that Neptune energy, it makes you guys a little more weary. So, Sagittarius, okay. So this is how we like to see the Emperor. So you guys are really feeling this. Aries is kind of the energy that you'll be feeling in this season anyways, because Leo's a big season for you. You'll feel like you can tackle the day. Like, you know, people are coming to you for orders. Like you're able to pick and choose what you want to this week. And then Three of Wands is just giving you this opportunity to look back at what you've achieved, where you've felt strong, and really assess and see kind of what your next step is. So lots of fire energy this week, lots of passion, creativity, truth. But yeah, lots of like kind of like soul stuff happening. Capricorn. You know, you may feel a little bored by everything working out so easily. I think that's something that can be said about Sagittarius, is that you guys love change and variety. And so when you're not able to move in like a completely different direction, maybe you do get like a little like jittery. Capricorn. All right. Almost done, guys. So Five of Wands. Ooh. So this one's gonna hit you guys this week. This is the aggression, that Mars energy. Leo season brings out the opponents that we have, people that have very different viewpoints from our own. Nothing too dangerous, you know, maybe some heated discussions, possibly a fight, but this isn't like, you know, a crazy card. Like this is something that almost needs to happen. So this Mercury coming through this week is really bringing out some harder conversations and messages, you know, where it feels like you really have to be on your game and say what you need to say at the right time. And that's not totally wrong. It's kind of what it feels like. So Aquarius, you have to like take your stand, basically. Aquarius. Ooh, okay. So the moon. So this is really gonna be a big week for you guys. Whenever we get a major arcana card, some of the other signs have already gotten them, but this is the only card. The moon, secrets, secrets. You guys are really going to feel like you are vulnerable and threatened to be exposed this week. It looks like you are going to adapt to it, and it's not really going to hinder you from pushing forward. You guys can't really seem to be slowed down. You're really building something great. Your planet is in Taurus, and You know, we have that fixed structure happening. We're kind of building a new world, if you will, because we're entering the age of Aquarius. We have been for a while. It's just such a slow transition. It takes hundreds and hundreds, thousands of years. And so, you know, you guys really feel like for a very long time that something is growing within you. And so this stuff, which is usually pretty scary, isn't going to debilitate you like normally. So that's good to see. Watch out for any Pisces this week. It looks like they're the ones that you're going to be probably interacting with, or, you know, having those conversations as Mercury is moving through. But again, Leo, a truth season. You know, it's all about the heart. It's about doing stuff that is the closest and most inspirational to us. So we're all identifying what that is. Maybe you guys have kept that from yourself, from letting yourself know what that is for a while. Maybe that has made you uncomfortable, is having so much truth, because it's opposite energy from you. You come across the sign of Leo. You come directly opposing the sign of Leo. And so you guys don't put everything out there on display. You're very calculated about, you know, what you put out there, and it's more so your insights and inspiration, whereas opposed to it being how you feel and who you truly are, which is Leo. And so you're having to kind of adapt to that this season. So it does feel very different, but I wouldn't say it's the worst energy out there for you. Last but not least, Pisces. Oh, okay. Ooh, the devil. Okay, Pisces. So these are the relationships we were talking about. Venus squaring Neptune on Monday. This is a big one for you guys. So Jupiter also in Capricorn up there. So this is the Capricorn card. These are the people in your life that are holding you back right now. Really, really see who they are, what they're about, and how you can get rid of it. How can you free these chains? You know, are you holding the chains? Do you have the key? Do you know where it's at? I bet you do. You guys can see through everything. You just don't let anyone know that you can see what's truly going on. And because you just have this natural state of fog and confusion when people look at you or ask you something, but you guys like really know, because once you kind of isolate yourself for so long from being like around everything, you get a really interesting perspective. And that's what you guys do. You can be very, very detached from things, which, like Aquarius, allows you some objectivity, but Neptune, being so psychically in tuned, can see through the fog and everything, and knows maybe what other people just don't see naturally. And so the devil is fighting the temptation to stay in situations that are holding us back. You know, whether it's work, relationships, you know, whether it's how you think of yourself. Mercury going through a lot of that this week. But I would really indicate that it takes two to tango in this picture. And so this really feels like that Venus energy that isn't working with us this week, especially since it is squaring your natal planet, on Monday. So not fun relationship stuff, but stuff we have to start talking about. That's the only way it gets better, right? So not the most fun week to start out this fire season. Usually Leo season is a very, very engaging, inspirational, creative time. All the good movies start coming out, or at least they're starting to be talked about. The stars come out. You know, Leo brings like very magnetic energies and leaders out into the open. We're going to have to figure out how politics are moving forward, as really nothing has happened so far, like debate-wise and things like that. It's just been fodder, like little news stories here and there, which is kind of nice to some degree. But I really feel like Leo's season is going to be the one where we see a lot of head-to-head politics and stuff start emerging, and just people in your life that really have different points of view from your own and challenge you to either embrace it or to fight for your own. Leo is all about personal empowerment. It's kind of like the athlete stepping up to their mark and getting ready to run the race, to box, to do anything, to play the match. And so that's what this season feels like. It does give us that boost, like that energetic courage, that we need. But that doesn't mean that it's smooth sailing, Fire signs, that energy that we all embody whenever we move through a fire season, takes its impact on us, that we kind of take it on, whether we're a fire sign or not. And when we step into the limelight in any way, we attract both good and bad things, because there's always going to be people that willingly oppose us, don't agree with us, even if we feel like we're 100% right. So we'll start to notice a lot of that this season, and I hope you guys have a great week. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I am linking a PayPal link, so if you really like the videos, if you like the insights and would like to support this channel, donations are very, very much appreciated in these times. So hopefully do something like this again. If not, I've got all the other cusp videos. I've got Tarot with Tyler on Instagram. You guys follow that for a lot more small spectral stories about the transits happening and just tarot card stuff. So thanks for watching and take care.